This is John Bailey, the epic voice of Honest Trailers, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. It's a Fangirls podcast with five-ish people. The tangents and squee will continue. Squee.
The tangents and squee continue all the way to episode 162 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And if you thought your family had issues, you got nothing on Thor and Co. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week. We're going to the virtual table and see who joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem.
This is Christy in Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
We're recording a little late, but better late than never.
Indeed.
Stuff got in the way. But we're...
As it often does.
Yeah,
well, not that often, but
yeah.
often enough.
Well, especially getting into this time of year where it's like, it's cold and flu season, it's holiday season where people are going to go travel and have company over, and it's like, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, it's a new year, but not yet.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
And, work gets in the way, and but we're here, we're still going, so.
We may be getting a special guest at some point.
Yay.
Once he eats, I think he's going to eat first.
He's a friend from work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a friend from work.
Yep.
Which that is funny on several levels, but we'll get to that. All right, well, while he's eating dinner, I guess we'll do the news. So,
I'll pop in at some point.
Okay. We're still going to do the news, and he'll just give his 2 cents when he feels like it. So, all right. Yes. First up, news with some convention announcements. First off, Gallifrey 1 just announced a big guest.
Yeah.
Yes. So, the man in charge, because technically he's still in charge until Christmas. So, he won't be in charge by the time Gallifrey 1 comes around, but he's still in charge at the moment. So, the man in charge, Stephen Moffat, is going to be at Gallifrey 1 in February. That is nuts.
Wow. Makes you wonder how much wheeling and dealing they did, because I thought, sometimes it's that they were under contract or they couldn't.
Well, he won't be by February.
Because he's been to Gallifrey 1 before.
Like 10 years
ago. And I wonder if, after,
post.
his contract's up in December, so then Gallifrey 1's in February, so he's like, hey, yeah, I'll come back to Gallifrey 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure it's like, this is the first opportunity he's been able to, since as showrunner, he probably could only do like officially sanctioned BBC conventions or something. I don't know. But point is, he's coming to Gallifrey 1, and I have to laugh because I looked at some of the comments I was just kind of curious. The comments on this on the announcement on Facebook that when Gallifrey 1 broke this news, it's like, oh, I can't wait, I'm so excited, I love Stephen Moffat. And I have no idea about who these people are. Maybe they really do love Stephen Moffat. It's just such a contrast from the crap that he's gotten the whole time, pretty much all.
He's been showrunner.
He's been showrunner. I'm just where were you people when he's getting excoriated in
vilified by the angry mob with pitchforks,
or maybe these are the opposite of the angry mob. Maybe the angry mob took their ball and went home. I don't know. I just thought it was funny that he's been the devil incarnate for many of fandom, and then all of a sudden he's not showrunner anymore. Like, oh, we love him so much. Blink is the greatest thing in the world, which Blink is awesome, by the way. I just have to laugh at fandom. It used to really tick me off, but now I'm amused by it.
And this seems to always run in a cycle.
That's true.
Because RTD got that same treatment, and when he left, and Moffat took over, we got that. And I'm sure when Chris Chibnall takes over, it's going to be the exact same.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if Chris Chibnall's on Twitter or anything, but if I was giving him advice, I'd just say just delete your Twitter account before you even start. Don't even go there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or freeze it and don't bother posting for the foreseeable future.
Make it private or something.
Yeah, that too.
But you lucky sons of guns that have tickets to Gallifrey 1. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
For better or for worse.
The golden goose.
Yes.
Enjoy Gallifrey 1. It's amazing, and I wish I could go back again, but that's going to be not for a very long time.
Like, you have to have the time and the money and a really fast reflex on that mouse button when the tickets go on sale. And that last one is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do not last.
Yep.
So if any of our listeners know what they are going, and when they do go, please send in feedback.
Yes,
we greatly
please.
appreciate
Especially
it.
if you meet Stephen Moffat.
We have any frogs on the street, as it were.
Yep.
We'll take your correspondence.
Yep.
And hope you have and wish you all have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Anyway, so next on the convention circuit, Planet Comic-Con, still a steady stream of announcements. And this most recent one, Matthew Lewis, aka Neville Longbottom, is going to be at Planet Comic-Con, so, which is about the same time actually as Gallifrey 1. So it's also in February. I don't know if they're the exact same weekend, but they're both in the same month. I know that. So.
Yeah. They must have moved it up a bit.
Yeah.
Because it used to be in March-ish? I don't know.
Yeah, well, it used to be in March because I remember, it used to be around Sean's birthday.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yay, Neville.
Yes. So
I've heard he's a wonderful guest at conventions.
I have too. Which is funny when you think about it, and you'll realize why it's funny in a moment here. So Indiana Comic-Con, which is coming up in late March, early April, Easter weekend, here in Indiana, is again, somewhat steady stream of guest announcements, although they have not made nearly as many as Planet Comic-Con, but they recently announced Yaya Han, which if you're a cosplayer, you know who she is. If you're not a cosplayer, people are probably like, who? But if you're in the cosplay community, she's up there as far as career cosplayers, really well known. She's got
her name does sound familiar.
Well, if you go to Joann's, you'll see her name because she's got a line of cosplay fabrics sold at Joann's, and then she's also got patterns that are sold in the stores as well. So if you ever wandered to Joann Fabrics and wander up and down the fabric aisle and see a section of just crazy looking fabrics that don't look like something your grandmother would use, it's probably things like faux leathers with studs and brightly colored pleather and that sort of thing. So but that's a big deal because they had Jessica Negri at Indiana Comic-Con this year, and she's pretty. She's like these two gals are really up there in the cosplay community as far as how famous they are and that sort of thing. So that's a big get. Yaya Han was at Lexington when I went last year, but she always had a super long line. And I was more excited for the Power Rangers anyway and Colin Baker. So I was like, oh, yeah, Han, that's great. Power Rangers. So if I end up going to Indiana Comic-Con this year, maybe this time I will take the time to stand in line and meet her, maybe. But I now have more incentive to go to Indiana Comic-Con because they also announced Matthew Lewis.
That'll save you a trip.
That'll save me a trip to Planet Comic-Con.
Pattern here.
Me too.
I think the Planet Comic-Con announcement was first, and I was like, oh, another reason to go to Planet Comic-Con, and then Indiana Comic-Con. I was like, Neville Longbottom. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I don't need to go to Playboy Comic-Con specifically for Matt. I was like, oh, Neville's going to be in my backyard. That's awesome. So, but yeah, that's kind of funny. So apparently Neville is going on the con circuit next year. So if you've always wanted to meet Matt, stay tuned.
I have his autograph because when I was in college, I and a roommate sent him fan mail, and we got autograph pictures back. But
nice.
I have not met him, so we'll. If he comes here, well, if they even do fan, I don't know for sure, but I'm like, please get him.
Yeah. I've not met anyone from Harry Potter yet, so I guess it's as good a place as any to start, I guess.
There you go.
Even if he is a Gryffindor and I'm a Slytherin. So, anyway. So, those are exciting convention announcements. And, between now and when the season really hasn't ended yet. The season really kind of ends in next week, essentially. It's Thanksgiving's next week. So, Chicago TARDIS and Starbase end here next week. And those are kind of like the end of the season. But then they'll pick back up again in January, February with Gallifrey 1 and all that. So, but between now and then, I'm sure we will get a slew more of announcements. So, because I know Indiana Comic-Con, they're just getting started still, and Indie PopCon, I know they've got guests signed, but they've not been officially announced yet, so I can't say anything. So, but yeah, 2018 should be fun for conventions. So, moving on to non-convention news, and this is I feel a sense of deja vu almost with the whole Doctor Who Netflix Amazon Prime thing again.
It's bringing shades of that.
It is.
Yes,
it's
for sure.
Feeling very like that again, but in this case, it's Disney and Marvel. And specifically the Marvel Netflix series, because we know Disney has plans for their own streaming service, whatever. And as soon as that announcement came out, people were like, well, what about all, because they were like, all the Disney movies, new movies going forward once the thing launches. So all the Star Wars and Pixar and everything will go on that service and not go on Netflix. Okay, fine, whatever. What about the Marvel Netflix produced show? Well, right now, supposedly, they are going to go to that streaming service as well, which kind of sucks.
Well,
it kind of doesn't. So, because Chauncey's actually excited about the Disney service. He's like, oh yeah, we'll totally pay for it. Because he's excited to see older Disney movies come get pulled out of the archives and get put on that service.
That was my thought about this, because at first I was like, well, another one, but then I'm like, okay, if anybody can pull off this streaming service thing, it's Disney, because they know how to do this. So especially if they bring out their older stuff and maybe some more obscure titles that haven't been released on DVD or Blu-ray. Or weren't even. Ever. I was like, they have so much.
I'm thinking the old serial, Legend of Zorro.
Yeah.
The TV shows, the old Mickey Mouse Club with Annette Funicello. Those. I mean, I remember when the Disney Channel, when it first came out on cable, you could watch some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before it came what it is now.
Yeah, be the old school Disney Channel. Show us even some of the old Walt Disney. Isn't it Walt Disney Presents? He was showing all those. Sure, it's not timely, but it's Walt Disney showing off what the plans are for the parks. And, that wonderful the Disney. Let's do some of this stuff.
Well, when we first got Netflix, those were some of the things that were available, because I've had my Netflix subscription long enough that back in the day, we got Netflix via the mail, DVDs through the mail. And some of the things that we were getting
they still do that. I don't know anybody who gets DVDs through the mail from Netflix, but maybe people still use that.
My great grandparents do.
But it's really a thing. It was more get the discs through the mail. But those were the type of things we were getting was, Walt Disney presents whatever, or, these old things like, oh, I've never seen that. And I'm like, put it on the list. Yeah. So, I'm totally excited for stuff like that. But
yeah, and for I think we had a comment, I know that we'll get down to this in feedback, but there was a comment on this saying, oh, this is just speculation. I'm like, well, this is the Wall Street Journal reporting this, so that's a pretty good source.
Yeah. Pretty good source for speculation that you might want to take a little more word for.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so, at first I was a little disappointed because I'm just like, I don't want to pay for something else. But then I was like, but it's Disney.
Right.
I think they can pull it off. I still haven't gotten BritBox because there's times I think, oh, maybe I'd get it. But I'm like, nah, I wouldn't watch anything on it. I'll just stick with what I have. But Disney, I will totally.
Yeah.
I will totally get that.
Yeah, considering
especially if they have the old stuff on there.
Yeah. Well, and considering the company's almost 100 years old, so
yeah.
They've got plenty of material to put up there. It's like all that stuff that's sitting in the vault. Get it streaming. Come on, guys. Don't be play around with this.
Yeah. So
I love how we're all like, Disney, we want all the old stuff. If y'all the new stuff, whatever. It'll come out. We'll see that.
Well, I do want the new stuff too, because I really enjoyed the Marvel
we know
series.
We're gonna get that.
But, just I don't like the idea of having to bounce between apps or services to watch things that I already know. But but I'm not giving up Netflix either, because dagnabbit, I need to watch Stranger Things and Fuller House. Thank you very much. So.
Well, yes, Netflix isn't going away anytime soon. They're doing their own thing, and see, this is what I like is with I'll kind of tangent here for a bit. With satellite, you have to buy it in packages. Like you have to buy you can't just buy like, oh, I like this channel, I'm never going to watch this channel, so I don't want it. So this is what I kind of like is, I was like, I want the Disney service. I want Netflix. I don't necessarily need BritBox, and I don't necessarily need, Fox or ABC, because I've got Hulu, or you can pick and choose what you want, and decide, instead of paying hundreds of dollars for channels you never never watch because there's nothing on there that you want. So I'm like, I like this. Even with all these streaming services coming out, it's like I can decide whether or not I want to keep it, and if I want to decide I want to cancel it, then that's easy enough to do. I don't have to call Comcast or DirecTV and try to have them guilt me into paying something.
That is very true.
The streaming, even though you feel like you're paying for a lot of different things, it's still pretty cheap, and it's not, you're not obligated. If you want to cancel, you just hit cancel and you're done.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm gonna have
yay Disney streaming.
I'm gonna have to upgrade my iPad. That's the only thing. My iPad's getting old, so.
I'll have to. We just got the Apple TV, well, I guess last year, and we have the older version that doesn't let you add on apps, and now I'm like, we should have got the newer one that doesn't come preloaded with everything. Yeah. Well, it does, but one we have, you can't add new things.
Yeah. Yep. So, oh well. It is what it is. So at the end of the day, you've got a choice, so no one's forcing you to buy into anything. So, it's all good, I guess.
Of course.
Yep. So, well, speaking of Disney and things that they own,
which is almost everything in the world.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
Fair enough.
They got their stuff. They got Marvel, and of course they have Star Wars. And my Facebook feed, those that are folks in my Facebook feed that are Star Wars fanboys, were very excited to hear this, see this announcement. So Rian Johnson, if you don't know who he is, he's the guy that directed The Last Jedi. So I guess you can judge his Star Wars prowess in a month. He is working with Disney to write and direct and produce 3 more Star Wars movies, a trilogy, not just, random 3 movies, but 3 movies that would be part of a trilogy that have nothing to do with the characters that we already know and love. No Skywalkers, no Rey, no Obi-Wan Kenobi, nothing. Is going to be parts of the galaxy that have never been touched upon before.
Ooh, interesting.
So
this has some big time possibilities. Now, did they say in the article when they were going to be setting this, if this was going to be after 9 or before?
Nope. They have not. No. They've not said when or which characters. Because I guess if you dive in enough of the the books and everything, that they're probably going to touch upon at least 1 or 2 things that people know of. But it's just not going to be the timeline and the locations and the characters that we already know. The established, things we know as it were. So
yes, just wondering how far I have to deep dive into novels or anything just to get a little refresh the background knowledge.
Yeah, well, you'll find out eventually. So. Yeah. But they say separate from the episodic Skywalker saga, Johnson will introduce new characters from a corner of the galaxy that Star Wars lore has never before explored.
Oh boy.
Those are the exact words from StarWars.com. So
this makes me wonder, there was all that brouhaha, Disney saying that the books were no longer canon and we're going to start all over. I'm kind of wondering, maybe are they going to start picking and choosing material from there anyway, and reintroducing it?
They've kind of already are doing that anyway.
Well,
very, very loosely.
Yeah,
but
that's true. It's kind of like everybody was upset about that, but now they're just going back and saying, "Oh, well, we like this. We're going to bring it back," and actually, put their own spin on it. It was just a way to say, "Look, we got to start over, from scratch with this because." Holy crap! That's a lot of stuff to have to take care of.
Yeah.
And to keep in mind.
And even the novels and everything they contradicted each other because nobody was keeping track on whether stuff was canon or not. So. But
it's all good.
Yep.
So. More Star Wars. That's the important takeaway here, people.
So,
yep.
I like the ending of the article is, Johnson's upcoming Star Wars The Last Jedi arrives in U.S. theaters on December 15th, so a month and a day from now. No release dates have been set for the new films, and no porgs were available for comment.
Oh, boy.
So you're not going to, good luck trying to get something out of a porg. They may or may not know anything.
I'm reserving judgment on the porgs. I know people are losing their minds about it, and I'm just like, we'll see what they do.
I have to admit they're really fun to play with when you board at walk. That's all I'm saying about that.
Okay. Walmart employs porgs.
Sure, we'll do that.
I'm kidding.
It actually might make the day go by a bit better.
Maybe.
Seeing those cute little things, maybe. I don't know. See how they act. And then...
Just BB-8 shows up, send it my way.
You're like, here, I've got something.
I think you saved me.
I love BB-8. He's a precious cinnamon roll. We don't deserve him. Anyway. Moving on to Doctor Who, something Disney does not own. Yet, maybe.
Oh, it's like, just wait long enough.
Yeah,
no,
really.
We do not know anything about that.
Give it time.
Don't nobody start no rumors.
Yeah.
So,
We're kidding.
We are joking.
so the book club is not going to be short of choices starting next year because the powers that be at Penguin Books are, I don't know, is it bringing back, because it's been a while because they haven't done the Target novelizations that hasn't really been a thing.
No,
So-
they were done for the classic series just because of the nature of TV at the time. They couldn't really rewatch anything.
Okay, so they're
So you'd read.
so
So
this
you'd read
is
it.
this is bringing back a thing that was a thing during the wilderness years, essentially. Novelizations, if you listen to Traveling the Vortex, and you know a bit about these. So Penguin Books is doing 4 novel adaptations of New Who. So starting 2005 when the show came back to now, they're going to start adapting New Who for novel form, plus 1 classic era, because heaven forbid we need any more classic era books.
Yeah. Well, apparently, City of Death, for whatever reason, probably because it's Douglas Adams, and he was a writer in his own right, and they couldn't afford to pay him to write a novelization of his own story. City of Death was never novelized, so now they're fixing that.
Yeah. But then our New Who stories are going to be Rose, because duh, I mean, if you're going to do New Who, start with where it started. The Christmas Invasion, The Day of the Doctor, which I'm very excited about.
I know, because you read these novelizations. If you've never read them before, they add so much to the backstory, and I'm just like, I'll take more Day of the Doctor, sure.
Yes. Thank you very much. And the last one is Twice Upon a Time, this year's Christmas special.
Cool.
So.
And
then,
it doesn't say. It just has those 4 titles, but I would guess if these do well, they'll do more.
Yeah,
If
you go to the Penguin Books Australian website, which is more information, kind of, they have like little snippets, summaries for each one, except for the Christmas special, and it says more details after the Christmas special airs. So no spoilers there. But they have
that's a good call.
Yeah. But the as far as the books themselves, Rose will be adapted from the original script by Russell T Davies. The Christmas Invasion by Jenny Colgan, and The Day of the Doctor and Twice Upon a Time by Stephen Moffat. And those will be available as paperbacks and digital ebooks. And right now, it's got a release date of April 2018.
Cool. So just add to my to be read pile. I can talk. Which is a million things long.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's like the TARDIS ever growing.
Ever growing.
Yeah. And this is why I got into Doctor Who, and why I love it is there will never be an end to material that I can enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the show, Big Finish, the books, the comics, whatever else
they decide to do.
It's all, it just keeps going, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited for a book version of the 50th anniversary special, because I love that story.
I know.
That is my favorite.
Well,
I can't wait to see what more sass gets added.
No.
Yeah.
That is so exciting.
Although I have to say, because it said the release date in April of 2018. I'm like, they missed a trick, because 2018 is the anniversary. They could have released that one in November, and that would have been the 5th anniversary of the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
If they wanted it to.
Yeah.
That is true.
But I don't know. So, I don't know. I just had that thought.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years since the 50th. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow. It doesn't seem that long ago.
No, it doesn't.
Well, 4 years this month, and then next year it'll be 5 years. Ugh.
Crazy.
So crazy. I know.
And our last bit of news also comes from Doctor Who. And,
Last, but certainly not least.
Yeah, the Doctor Who fandom kind of exploded. Just a smidge. Because we got our first look at the 13th Doctor's outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And oh boy, if you ever want to see a bunch of nerds analyze one picture, put up the Doctor's new costume. It happened with Peter Capaldi.
And what's funny,
and it's happening with Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah, what's funny is the first place that I saw the picture was not from the BBC or BBC America or Doctor or any of the official Doctor Who related channels. It was from cosplayers that cosplay Doctor Who.
That doesn't surprise me in the least. Because everybody's been thinking, how do I cosplay this? And that...
for sharing that on your Instagram. He was the first. If you don't know who Matt is, if you saw the Graham Norton show, the year of the 50th, when Matt and David were on, and they had this guy on, and he's a spitting image of Matt Smith.
Yep.
So Matt11, go follow him on Instagram. He does a really good Newt Scamander too. But he was actually his Instagram that I first saw it on. He's like, okay, everyone, start identifying all the pieces.
Right.
We need a full breakdown of where these pieces can be bought, if possible.
Yep.
And the cosplay community ever since is like, okay, now the shoes, the pants, like where can we get this stuff? Does it need to be made? There's companies already like printing their own version of the shirt. So
I know. It's like, I'm sure you can find the T-shirts somewhere by now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if not before it was announced, Etsy or one of those daily T-shirt things. They've done it by now. It has to be there.
Yeah.
Although I have one complaint about this. Just it's a minor nitpick, because everybody's giving their opinions. So for years and years, there have been female cosplayers making female versions of the Doctors, and I've done this.
I've done
Rachel, you've done this. Yeah, and we it's the femme Doctors, and it most of the time, not all the time, but maybe 95% of the cosplayers doing female Doctors put the Doctor in a skirt version of the pants, whatever Doctor is that you're cosplaying wears. And so now we have a female Doctor. Here's a prime opportunity to do a skirt, and you do pants again. And not just pants, Urkel pants.
They're culottes.
And I'm sorry. Okay, maybe this comes from being the tallest girl in my class and always having to wear my pants always going up, like looking like floods, and me feeling self-conscious about this. And even to this day, I do not like to wear pants that are shorter than my shoes, or that don't reach down to my shoes, because it just bothers me. And I'm just like, but you made her pants shorter, and you can see her ankles and her socks. It's not like, I'm not being prudish, like, oh, I see your ankle, or, whatever, Victorian. I'm just like, doesn't look better as a skirt. That's just me. This is just
not capris.
They're not capris. They're culottes.
Yeah.
It's a very specific type of pant.
Okay, so maybe it's just me. I don't like wearing those kinds of pants. It's just it bothers me. So I'm like, if I decide to cosplay her, and I like her coat. Her coat is awesome.
Oh yeah, the Doctor's always got to have a fabulous
the coat
coat.
kind of has a tie to 10, because I noticed one side has the dark blue, kind of with the suit, and then the other's got the tan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For the lining. So I was like, nice.
I know. I love her coat. I would wear that in normal life. But I think if I ever cosplay her, I think I'm going to turn the pants into a skirt and then wear the long coat with the skirt. Because I
always do the pants maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, maybe that. I'm like, I'm not even worried about the suspenders or braces if you're in the UK.
Yeah.
But it's just they're so short, and it's a me thing. It bothers me, but I'm sure other people will enjoy it, and I don't want to ruin their fun. I think it looks
fabulous, and I want to cosplay her. I do. Just the way it is. As someone that cosplays Doctor Who and has got multiple Doctor cosplays, yes, my 6 is femme, but that's for a very specific reason, because it's also steampunk. So it kind of needed to be to go with that whole aesthetic. But personally, I love wearing pants just because it's so much more comfortable. And it's so much more yes, you've got pockets. It's much more practical. If I fall down or go running, I'm not going to, flash everyone, which is always a good thing. So, if you look at the characters in Doctor, especially New Who, the female companions, if they've ever worn a skirt, Clara's the one exception, because Clara's her own thing. But Rose and Amy, anytime they wore a skirt, it was always a mini skirt and super tight and super short, which, if a stiff breeze comes along, you're not flashing anyone. You're not having a Marilyn Monroe moment, which is fine, but not
usually they did wear leggings with them, though, or tights. If I'm remembering right.
Yes, or tights. But wearing tights when you're the Doctor is not practical either.
Well, and I'm not saying wear a mini skirt. I'm thinking keep it as long as the pants are. Just make it a skirt instead of that's what I would do. I would still. I don't know. Maybe I like wearing skirts too.
Yeah. So I don't like wearing skirts, but that's a personal thing because my thighs rub together, so it's uncomfortable. But I think it's partially out of practicality, because pants are they're so much more practical. You got pockets. You're not going to flash anyone, and it's not that. And I think it makes her a bit more androgynous, so it's not screaming, boom, I'm a girl this time around. It's more, I'm still the Doctor. I'm dressing for adventure and running for my life and getting into danger and that sort of thing. And it doesn't matter whether I'm a dude or female. And also the choices of clothing pieces, because the culottes are a distinct style. The shirts, we don't know yet whether that's long sleeve or short sleeve, but it's true. It's it's its own look with the Mork stripes or Wesley stripes across the front, depending on who you ask. Obviously, bracers, that's a nice homage to the 11th and 1st Doctor. The high-waisted pants actually are a nice homage to the 2nd Doctor, because he wore his pants a little higher. The long coat, obviously the Doctor always needs a fabulous coat, whether it's long or short. The Doctor always needs a coat with lots of pockets that are bigger on the inside.
Yes.
But the look, obviously we'll look at it years from now and go, yes, that was Jodie Whittaker in 2017 when she became the Doctor. But within Doctor Who, I think the outfit is so not one time period specific that that'll allow her some flexibility, because we know the Doctor never changes clothes no matter what, with few exceptions where the tuxedo, which is jinxed, and the spacesuit, which I think is also jinxed. The Doctor wears the same outfit regardless of the time period and the location and the weather.
Mm-hmm.
even when the companion changes clothes,
yes,
which
the doctor
happens
never
not
does.
very often.
Yeah, the
The
doctor
doctor's
never
just like,
does. So by giving her something that's just, it's not distinctive to any one particular time period, I think will allow her more flexibility in being able to blend it. Not that the doctor ever really tries to blend in, so.
Yeah.
But if she needs
Well,
to
it's like-
blend in,
yeah. Well, and then it was the Ninth Doctor in Unquiet Dead, and Rose comes out in the nice Victorian gown and hat and everything, and she's like, "Aren't you going to change?" And the doctor says, "I changed my jumper."
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I think the silhouette and everything will still allow for the occasional change. Like, the Ninth Doctor occasionally would wear a different colored jumper. Obviously, David Tennant's Doctor went between brown and blue. Matt went between the tweed and the purple. Capaldi's Doctor, I think, has been the most changed over Doctor, where like the coat and the jumper and at least from the waist up has changed.
I think his thing was more because he never wore anything really. Never wore any real light colors other than when he had the white dress shirt, and that was about it. It was always black or gray or mostly black and gray.
Yeah. So this way she can change the shirt. She could probably change the color of the bracers. The pants may even change at some point.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we can see her socks, maybe she'll play with different colored socks. Like the Sixth Doctor had different cat pins. Maybe this Doctor will play with different colored socks. Who knows? So, but there are some nice homages to previous Doctors while still keeping it kind of modern and kind of fresh. She's wearing earrings, which is unheard of.
Yeah, I like the
by
earrings.
Any character in Doctor Who, really. Donna really was the one that wore like earrings that were really obvious, which makes her a bit more modern for this era. But again, it's it's subtle enough, and it's something that she could easily change to change up her look. So I'm sure this is one variation of many that we'll probably see depending on how long her tenure as the Doctor is. So obviously the longer they stick around, the more costume changes they get.
Yeah. Well, even her shirt, I could kind of see even the stripes changing color and even the solid of the jumper, kind of like an homage to the Fourth Doctor's scarf. Yeah.
So.
And I like how the colors are kind of muted. They really aren't too bright and bold, so you can do a lot of mixing and
matching.
Yeah.
So, but as so many people are talking about her look in the same image, the TARDIS.
We have our TARDIS.
At least exterior. We don't know what the interior is going to look like yet, but as far as the exterior, and it's kind of a significant change in the way the TARDIS looks. On the outside, I think pretty sure the shade of blue has changed some, and I think the windows have changed a little, and the most obvious change
the
is
St. John Paul's medal is gone.
Yes, the St. John's logo is gone, but the sign that's on the door for the handle is now black instead of white.
Right.
Which that jumped right out at me. I was like, wait a minute, that's supposed to be white with black lettering. It is black with white lettering. So, changes to the outside of the TARDIS probably means changes to the inside, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yep, desktop.
How drastic the desktop interface changes this time around in the outside match. So
please let there still be the round things.
Yes, can we keep the round things? Dear Christian, no, we'd still like the round things. Thank you very much. You could change everything else. Just keep the round things. Keep the library and the pool and the round things. We're good. So, but so that's our first look at Jodie in her Doctor's outfit. Now, if you have scrounging the internet, or not even scrounging, if you follow the right accounts, there is a photo floating about of Jodie in Peter's outfit. walking, I think 2 are from set. She's got like a big heavy coat like on over it, trying to maybe cover it, but she's got it open and she's wearing the white button-up shirt and she's got the bit. So regeneration scene has been filmed more than likely at this point. Jodie's end of the regeneration scene, so which just makes it all more real that in slightly over a month Peter's saying bye-bye. I'm so sad. I'm so excited for, new Who, but at the same time I was like, I don't want Peter to leave. But I saw that on the interwebs and I'm like, no, not regeneration, no. Apparently Chris Chibnall is putting the hammer down as far as security on set is concerned. Trying to avoid
I'm
the
actually really
leaks.
glad about this.
Yeah, that we've seen in past years. So
yeah, I saw a thing about it's Doctor Who set reports, and they had this big long statement like, "Oh, they've increased security on the set, and we're not going to be able to bring you as quality reports." Read spoilers.
Yes.
As we have in years past. What are we going to do? And I'm just kind of like, I just imagining in my head the grumpy cat meme that says "good."
Yeah.
Yes.
Call me a spoil sport. Call me, say I'm raining on the parade, but I'm just like, if the BBC wants to crack down on leaks and set reports getting out, that's their prerogative, and I'm fine with it. So,
like if you're so desperate for something from Doctor Who, make sure you watch Children in Need this Friday.
Yep.
that's right. There'll be a clip from Twice Upon a Time.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm pretty sure it's a clip.
If you need something to tide you over until Christmas, there you go. Watch Children in Need on Friday. Yeah. Plus, it's for a good cause. So,
Yep.
everybody wins. We get Doctor Who, and the children get help. So, anyway, that's it for news. So let's move on to feedback, because we do have some feedback. So. Mostly comments on the Facebook, but hey, people are seeing what we're posting and feel like they need to comment on it, so that makes me happy. So first, a couple of comments on Matthew Lewis coming to Comic-Con. Nicole says, my cousins met him in Orlando and said he was super nice, which is a good thing. And then Rachel, not me, not talking about myself in the third person. She said, I had been debating going this year, but Neville's my favorite Harry Potter character, so I guess it's a yes.
There you go.
Yeah. And then Chrissy said jealous.
Yes, that would be me.
Yes.
Because I am insanely jealous because I want to meet Matthew Lewis, and so I'm hoping that Salt Lake will be able to get him at some point.
Yep. No. And then Matt commented on our post about the Disney streaming service, which Chrissy alluded to earlier, where he said, this is full speculation. There hasn't been anything announced, and the deal could change, which is true. Also, Netflix probably has a contract that would dictate what happens with the current shows it has as Netflix originals, which is also true. We don't know what those contracts say as far as, this many series, this many episodes over so many amount of time. So a lot of things could still change, especially considering some of the other rumors that are floating around with Disney possibly buying back the rest of the Marvel characters from Fox. So, which may or may not be happening unofficially, officially. So, I think Disney's got a lot of pieces moving on the chessboard at the moment. Yes.
I think. I figured it was, like I said, it was reported by the Wall Street Journal, so I thought, well, this is reliable. So you're true. It could change. It just, that was what was at the moment being discussed.
Yes. Yep. So, and then we got a few comments on our post about the 13th Doctor's outfit. So Brian said I rather like it. It fits with the character of the Doctor, but seems not overly mannish. Elements there from other Doctors, but a style to make her own. Plus, I think it still feels British. I can see a lot of women/girls cosplaying this Doctor. I'm sure even some guys, which that is very true. So, just said, I think she's wearing TARDIS socks, which if you look, her socks are definitely blue. So, whether they have any sort of print on them, I guess, is yet to be seen. And then Jessica, I think in relation to Amanda's comment about the socks, says, I just noticed that. Also, doesn't her outfit look like she stole it out of Bill's closet? Which kind of. And then we had this nice little short thread that says, Brian said perhaps Bill was an influence on the new Doctor. And then Jessica replied, it darn well ought to be. Bill was awesome. And then Brian said, I concur.
You know, they missed a trick. If Pearl Mackie had stayed for another season, you know, they could have had the Doctor dropping her off, and then the Doctor would go riffling through her closet or something. And I'm like, that would be so fun. But no Bill this year.
Yeah, it's just like, wait a minute, isn't that my jumper? Oh, I hope you don't mind.
And now it's like they can share clothes. Alas, it's not to be. That's okay.
Yep. So I like it. So, and I agree. My only, because I have not seen anyone been able to break down the outfit completely yet, is I want to know the shoes. Do they have any sort of heel? Are they flat? I need to know these things.
I hope they're. I kind of hope they're flat, because if they're going for practicality,
yeah.
Well, having a heel would not make sense.
Well, I don't mean like heel, but like maybe just a little bit of heel, just to give her some height. Because if they're super flat, like Matt's boots, especially like in the 50th, his boots were like super flat. But I think Matt's a decent height guy. Jodie, I think, is shorter. So just a little bit of a heel would give her just a little bit of height, and it actually does quite a bit for your posture too, as opposed to just being super flat on the ground. So that's what I was concerned. Like, are they super flat like Matt's boots were, or did they have just a little bit? Because I think Chris's boots had at least kind of a stacked heel. And that's what I'm wondering, if they have any sort of like stacked heel like his black boots were when he was the Ninth Doctor, or if they're super flat like Matt's shoes. So anyway.
And just make sure they got a good grip on the bottom of the
running. Hopefully they got a good texture on the bottom for running. So, but anyway. So that's it for news and your feedback. Thanks for everyone that's commented on our post. We really appreciate it. So, and with that, we shall move on to this week's topic. Sound the spoiler alarm. Spoilers from here on out.
That wasn't a very good siren, but
Red alert.
Yeah, that's why I have a sound effect in my collection. So spoilers from here on out. If you have not bothered to go see Thor Ragnarok yet, you are missing out, and you are going to get spoiled. So turn it off now and come back later.
We'll be right here for you.
Yes, we will be. So that being said, the embargo has been lifted. Spoilers away for the latest in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Thor Ragnarok. And Chauncey is now here to give him his 2 cents.
Hello.
So.
Hi, Chauncey.
Hey, Chauncey.
Hi there.
So, Thor Ragnarok. What did everybody think? I thought it was awesome.
I liked it, but I do have a few, I don't want to call them nitpicks, but I don't know. Little quibbles. Yeah, let's go with that. So what I liked, I love, with all the Thor movies, I love it when we get to see Asgard and we get to see the background and the lore. And for a while, when the movie started, I thought, oh, cool, we're gonna get to see, Hela is Thor's older sister, is Odin's firstborn, and there was a time when Odin was this, ruthless, vengeful, warlord, I guess, and he conquered all these places, and Hela was his right hand, and she did all these things, and then he decided that he didn't want to be that terrible, awful person anymore, so he quit, and Hela got mad, and so he locked her away, and now she's been released because, Odin dies, and it was only his power keeping her back. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. We're gonna see all this, and we got to see some. There was a good chunk of it. We didn't get to see as much as I would have liked. I wanted to see more of the lore and that kind of thing. And maybe it's because because we saw Wonder Woman earlier in the year, and they had some of that backstory with the Amazons and the way they showed it with Hippolyta telling Diana bedtime stories, basically. I'm like, oh, maybe they'll get something, do a similar kind of flashback. No, that wasn't there. And so I think I kind of carried that disappointment throughout the whole movie, because I kept wanting them to go back to Asgard and show me more Hela, show me what she's done, show me what her backstory is, and they did a little bit, but not enough that I wanted. I wanted more. That's really what it comes down to, is I wanted more.
Yeah.
From this.
And the thing is the movie as a whole, I mean, it's still got a lot in it, and it's a long movie. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It doesn't feel 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is great.
It didn't.
I guess it feels like there's in my mind there's two movies here, and that they kind of smush together.
Yeah.
In a way, they have the Hulk on a Jeff Goldblum planet. I can't remember what it's called now. Sakaar, yeah. And then, then you've got the stuff on Asgard that's happening with Hela and Heimdall. I want to see Heimdall, rescuing people. Why did, what happened when he ran off with the sword and different things. I guess I want to see what happened on Asgard when Thor wasn't there. I guess that's what I'm asking for. It's give me that, please.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know Loki was in charge for a while.
Yes.
Well, yes, that was funny.
It was.
Who were the actors in that? That play?
And I don't know if anyone.
Thor's been gone for we can kind of assume that from the time he took off after Age of Ultron to now, he has not gone back to Asgard at any point. So because we get the opening, and he's been captured. He's in this cage. He's like, oh no, Thor's in the cage, and it's hilarious. He's like, I've been on the hunt for these Infinity Stones and didn't find any of them. So as far as we know, Thor has not been home since before Age of Ultron. So. And it's never explicitly stated, although I think I saw somewhere that either the director or the producer has confirmed that this movie is taking place at the exact same time as Civil War.
Ah, okay.
So that explains why Thor and the Hulk are missing from Civil Wars, because this is taking place exact same time, which is, they've done this before in the MCU because the very first Thor movie is taking place the exact same time as Iron Man 2. So
then that means Doctor Strange actually happens before Civil War then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Or right after Civil War, depending on who you believe, on whether that reference to a U.S. Air Force officer with a spinal injury is referring to Rhodey or not.
Right.
Yeah, kind of feels like with their referencing, they might have written themselves into a bit of a tangle, but nothing. I mean, it's not. I'm not complaining about that I'm just trying to place everything.
Yeah, but
based on this information.
Yeah, but going into the movie, the director Taika, is who actually has a part in the movie, but we'll get to that. Has essentially said this is almost a buddy traveling movie set in space with Thor and the Hulk, and that's kind of what it is. With a bit of a family squabble in the middle of it, which I did not see Hela being related to.
Oh no.
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
Maybe consult my resident Marvel expert who's taking a nap in the other room.
Yeah. Well, I think it depends on, because we know how these comic books are. It also depends on, which universe or storyline you're going to be referencing as well. But
that's true too.
Yeah. But what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Which I totally did not see that coming at all. I was like, what?
Exactly.
No one told me this is what I was signing up for.
And crushes Mew Mew like a piece of glass.
Yes. Poor Mew Mew. I love the video that Hemsworth posted on Instagram. It's like, all right, rest in peace, Mjolnir.
Yeah. I actually accidentally saw that before I saw Thor, and I was like, oh, he doesn't get it back? Darn it. But what he did get instead was actually pretty cool.
Well, yes.
I love Odin's line. What are you? Are you the god of hammers?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, Odin. It's like he just like it's almost like out of Once Upon a Time. He's never gonna win Father of the Year. He's not winning any parental awards, but he certainly has some lovely quips. And kudos to Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yes.
For we only see Odin twice, when they go to try and rescue him from Norway, very on the nose there, to the Norse mythology of Thor, and then at the end when Thor is all like, I can't beat her, and he's like, what are you, the god of hammers, that sort of thing. But
the candy,
but Sir Anthony Hopkins
channeling Loki,
channeling
Odin.
Channeling Tom Hiddleston playing Odin. So it's very Helena Bonham Carter channeling Emma Watson in Harry Potter when she's supposed to be Bellatrix Lestrange.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. And it's funny as heck. Thor shows up and they're watching this play that's all ode to Loki. This giant statue's been put up of Loki, and they're watching like this Shakespearean tragedy style play.
Yeah. Although, did you guys notice? I don't know if you noticed in the credits, is that the actor playing fake Thor is actually Luke Hemsworth.
Oh yes, yes. You've got Chris Hemsworth's brother, his other brother, not the one from the Hunger Games, but his other brother playing Thor in the play. You've got Sam Neill playing Odin. And Matt freaking Damon playing Loki.
I guess some of these guys are like, how do I get into the MCU? I know.
I was dying. I didn't notice Thor at first, and then Odin quotation marks here. Odin walks in, and I'm like, is that Sam Neill? And then the camera would go back to Matt Damon having like this over dramatic Shakespearean death as Loki, and I'm just dying. And at the same time, I'm like, that's why Matt Damon was at the red carpet for Thor Ragnarok.
And then what we think is the real Odin, when he gets the wine glass and oh crap and sees Thor, it's like, oh, okay, you're Loki.
Yes, he's like, oh.
Yikes, you're dead.
He sees Thor and he's like, oh crap, and I'm like, oh yeah.
We're censoring what he actually said, but it ranked up to that.
Oh my god, I could not I absolutely could not. It was so funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then Strange and how he treated Loki was
I've been falling for 30 minutes. I have to say I'm slightly disappointed. I knew Doctor Strange was not likely to have a very big part in. I knew he was going to be in it, but I didn't expect him to have a major impact in the storyline just because he's got his own things that he's doing. But I'm slightly disappointed that like 25% of his appearance in the movie is the post-credit scene from Doctor Strange.
Yes.
It's essentially that extended. A little bit at the beginning and a little bit at the end, and then it's exact same scene that is in the post-credit scene from Doctor Strange with the beer. The automatically refilling beer. But I totally loved seeing more of Doctor Strange and Thor interact because it's a nice preview for Infinity War. And even though he and Loki don't really interact quite a bit, but still, it's like, oh, if this is even a small portion of what Infinity War is going to be like, I am so down.
Right?
I am so down for this. That and just to see Benedict Cumberbatch and Tom Hiddleston in the same scene together.
Oh, okay. I have to tell you a story about that scene. So we're watching this, and I'm just waiting for it. I'm like, okay, if anybody, there's a girl behind us, and I could tell it's about late teens, early 20s girl, and she's just flipping out every time Tom Hiddleston is on the screen. Which I like Tom Hiddleston. Don't get me wrong. And I like Benedict Cumberbatch. So when Thor is in there with Doctor Strange and they're talking and she's like flailing, I can hear her flailing in the seat behind me. At this point, it's getting a little annoying. And then Tom Hiddleston shows up and they're on screen together, and I'm like, "Are you gonna have a heart attack? Are you okay up there?"
Was she drooling on the seat?
And I'm like, yes, this is very exciting. Could you please calm down? I'm afraid we're gonna have to call somebody.
It's only gonna be worse for Infinity War.
Yes.
Well, there's
the personification of Tumblr.
Yes.
Sitting right behind me.
There's so much fodder. Just that small scene, that short amount of time that Loki and Doctor Strange are on the screen at the same time, I'm sure it has fueled a lot of fan fiction.
Yep.
And it's only going to get worse as we get to Infinity War when we start getting more and more of those characters interacting with each other. So as I like to say, Marvel has done a really good job of collecting very, very good looking men for the MC.
Okay.
Sorry,
if you guys ever watched the YouTube channel Cinema Wins, it's like Cinema Sins, except he actually finds good things to talk about in movies. Yeah. And so in all the anytime, it's mostly in the Marvel movies, but in other movies too, anytime there's a good-looking man in a shirtless scene, he goes, so-and-so's workout routine, ding! So when Chris Hemsworth was, Thor, but Chris Hemsworth was shirtless in Thor, I leaned over to Jared and said, Chris Hemsworth workout routine, ding! And I'm like, I'm just waiting for that when Cinema Wins does that video.
When Chauncey and I went and saw Ragnarok, because I've seen it twice, but when we first saw it, we saw it together, and we had these two older ladies. They were sitting to the left of me. They had to have been in their 50s at least. 50s, maybe not 60s, and we get to the one gratuitous shirtless scene with Thor, and these two ladies were almost as bad as the girl, the teenage girl in yours. They were like, oh my! Which, if Hemsworth does it for you, more power to you. He's not my cup of tea, but even the director, like, at one point they didn't have that scene in there, And I guess at one point he went to Chris and he's like, "You're going to have to take your shirt off." And Chris is like, "No one wants to see me with my shirt off." And Taika's like, "No, you need to take your shirt off."
Sure. There's a million of your fans that would beg to differ there, Chris.
Yeah, it's like, dude, do you not get fan mail?
It's like, dude, you're on Instagram. Please read the comments.
Yeah.
Maybe don't.
Okay, maybe
I've read comments.
maybe
They're
not
kind
read
of-
the comments. Look at the emojis that are being used.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Count
A lot
the
of
hard
wide-eyes
eye.
and drooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Count the drooling, hard eye, and kissy face emojis being used in your comments on your Instagram. That'll tell you everything you need to know.
Exactly.
This movie, it was just
being the scene stealer. Should we talk about Jeff Goldblum's character? Oh boy.
That's Jeff Goldblum. That is Jeff Goldblum.
Yep.
Is-
They didn't give him a script.
Yeah.
He just sort of sat out there and just.
They just put him in costume
Yeah.
and makeup and be
How
like,
about
"Go, do your thing." So, which if you've seen Jeff Goldblum like nowadays, one, I don't know if he's on social media, but he gets put in other people's pictures on social media and interviews and everything. The man is a hipster personified. He's just a couple generations too old for the hipsters, but dang it if he doesn't quite fit right in with the hipsters. And his character is essentially that, just with more LeMay and blue nail polish.
Yep.
Yeah, the blue nail polish. I was just like, oh, that's a thing.
That's the way that these I don't know if they're all men or not, but like the Grandmaster and the Elders of the Universe is what he is. But he is the same. He's one of the Elders of the Universe, but so is the Collector. And if you remember the Collector from Guardians of the Galaxy, the fur,
Oh yeah.
the coiffed hair, the the crazy hand gestures, I think that's just a thing with the Elders of the Universe, I think.
So.
So they're
They're from Detroit in the 70s.
maybe. No, at least with those two elders. So I don't know enough about the others to say anything, but at least those two are very eccentric.
Yep.
We'll put it that way. But
Yeah, I knew there was some kind of correlation between the two of them, but I just before the movie started, I kept trying to figure out. Okay, I know he's not the Collector, but I kept wanting to call him the Collector. Jeff Goldblum's character.
They're related-ish.
Yeah.
So they're cut from the same cloth. How's that?
Yeah.
So
Something
Instead of
or
one
another.
collecting objects of whatever, Jeff Goldblum's guy is collecting warriors.
yeah.
Yes, he's collecting
Fighters.
champions.
Yeah. So, but it's just the Grandmaster I think was just the Grandmaster. He was kind of someone to help kind of push the plot along. But I think because Hela is just such an overwhelming, in a good way, but such a formidable and overwhelming villain that we didn't necessarily need like a sub villain. He's not bad, he's not good, he's just a dude having a party and playing some tunes, and
he's an antagonist.
Yes, but he's not
different.
a villain.
He's Marvel's Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that works.
I'd rather be captured by Jeff Goldblum the job of that. Thank you very much.
True.
my
Especially
birthday.
if he lets me steal his spaceship that easily.
Yeah, really.
Easily, we say in air quotes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they did get help, so.
Yeah.
That fight was awesome.
Yeah. There's some really good fights. I mean, the arena battle between Thor and the Hulk is pretty dang awesome. I mean, the Hulk's always, I would never want to come across the Hulk in a dark alleyway or even a well-lit alleyway if he's not in a good mood.
Or when he's getting out of the hot tub.
Yeah.
And now that's in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever want to know what the Hulk's butt looks like,
Yeah.
we now all
and then
know.
Loki during this was the introductions
Oh yeah, look,
before the fight.
because he
He's
has
just-
no idea who the champion is. This Grandmaster's champion is, and then we realize it's the Hulk. Loki's face is like, oh, I'm so screwed.
Like, I can be here, thank you. Oh, how do I? Yeah.
Until Thor starts losing,
Waiter,
it gets the ragdoll treatment that Loki got in the Avengers. Like, that's how it feels.
I was like, I was waiting for that. I was like, okay, this has to happen. This has to happen. And then it did. I
Now
was
you
like,
know what that feels like.
oh, Loki.
It's just like a dog going nuts on a chew toy or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, it's like, even like Banner said, even after, they finally get him out of Hulk form and back to being, Bruce Banner, he's like, before it felt like Hulk and I each had a hand on the steering wheel. Now it feels like he's driving the car and I'm in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, yes, and then we get a couple of jokes on Tony Stark's behalf with the outfit. Banner get into.
The question is,
Yep.
does Tony Stark wear his pants too tight, or does Robert Downey Jr. wear his pants too tight?
That's what I was thinking when that line was there. I was like,
I think it's a little of both.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think the answer to that question is yes.
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 Embrace the power of and.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Car is fun. It's definitely an interesting
Because the
planet.
car is also where we get our Stan Lee cameo.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. I swear
and
I
Thor,
say this.
Thor is actually scared of him because he's about to cut his hair
Oh
with
my
that
God.
insane.
It's like, hold still. I'm not as, my hands aren't as steady as they used to be. And he's got this giant contraption on his arm and starts spinning and he's laughing.
Yeah.
And Thor's like,
Thor, best defeat dead away right now if I were you.
I swear I say this after every Marvel movie, but best Stanley cameo ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's easily top 5 Stanley cameos from the MCU. Easily.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. So funny. So funny. I kept wondering too. I'm like, where are we going to see Stan? Where are we going to see Stan? I'm like, oh, he's the one that cuts Thor's hair. That is awesome.
Because I was wondering, it was going to be a real obvious one, or is it going to be a blink and you're going to miss it? Like, some of them happen.
Yeah. Is it going to be, can I have my shoe back, please?
That's still one of my favorites as well. Can I have my shoe back? Also from Thor.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So we have the Grandmaster. Obviously, we've got Loki, Thor, the Hulk / Bruce Banner, characters we already know and love. We've got Hela. We've got a few more new characters. We've got Scourge.
Yep. Played to the hilt by Carl Urban.
Yes.
Oh, he was so much fun.
Took me a while to recognize that was actually him. I was like, okay.
I'd heard that he was in this, and then he what was I saying? And then I forgot, and then he was back, and I was like, oh yeah, there you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, which
Oh my gosh, did she
I guess
do
technically,
an awesome job?
yeah, technically Valkyrie's not her name because she is a Valkyrie. That's a title.
Yeah, I was waiting to hear what her name was, and I never heard it. And then even in the credits, she's just Valkyrie, and I was like, well, I guess since they all died,
since
she's the only one left.
Yeah,
because it kind of seems like the Valkyries were there, like you're just part of the collective. You're not an individual person, so I guess they don't need names or something. I don't know.
But they're this elite, they're almost like Wonder Woman, like the Amazons. Where there's an elite group of fighters, but they're all women.
Yeah, I think Valkyries, in a way, they're the Norse version of the Amazons.
Yeah.
Although the Valkyries, I'm trying to remember for sure. I'd have to look it up, but I think they're the ones that are supposed to escort the dead or the honored dead to Valhalla. Mm-hmm. I believe is how that goes in Greek or Norse mythology. I mean. But yeah, she was really good, and again, another one that I wish I was like, I want more about this. I want the whole battle. I think what I want is for Cate Blanchett and Anthony Hopkins to come back and just do a movie about Hela and Odin before Thor and everybody. That's what I want.
That'd be fun.
Or maybe not a full-on movie, but maybe like when Marvel used to do those.
The one-shots?
One-shots. Yeah. It's like, let's do that.
Yeah. And when we do get a glimpse of it when Loki gets into Valkyrie's memories.
Yeah.
And we get to see her memory of the Valkyrie fighting Hela, which is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
All of that looks so cool.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The cinematography, the way the coloring and the stylization they did to it. But we only get a glimpse of that history, that Asgardian history. So that is something we could potentially get more, possibly, maybe, hopefully. Dear Kevin Feige.
I would.
They start
but it doesn't necessarily have to be like a part of the it's all connected Marvel universe. I'm like, I want more, and I think it's because the first Thor movie, I love it. I know a lot of people it's not their favorite, but it's just I love the look of it. I love the whole all the the whole Asgardian culture and the characters there, and I was really sad when the Warriors 3 got killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like Hela's like, boom, you're dead, I'll fight you a little more, boom, you're dead. And I was like, we didn't even get anything with these guys. And
well, as far as we know, Lady Sif is still alive, though. She's somewhere.
This is true.
We don't know where she is, but as far as we know, she's still alive. So, and the only reason she's not in it is because she's off doing her own TV show. So, But yeah, the Warriors 3, it's like gone, a little while later, gone. So, oh, well, no more of you.
Did you guys catch that the wolf is a Marvel character?
Fenrir?
Yeah.
Is it Fenrir? Yeah.
It's like it's spelled like Fenris or Fenrius. But apparently the lore on that is in the comics that's actually Loki's illegitimate child.
Oh, right. I'd heard that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Loki has a lot of interesting illegitimate children. Something to do with a horse.
We start
That's
getting
all I'm going to say about that.
The Marvel mythology and the Norse mythology is especially Norse myth. You start getting into the mythology of like gods and stuff. It does get a little weird, even for comic book.
Yeah. Yep.
Even for comic book fans, there's weird and then there's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I never really see where that wolf goes. It's just the Hulk and the wolf.
It goes over the waterfall.
Yeah, he goes. Oh, yeah, he falls down into oblivion because Asgard isn't round; it's just this disc.
Yep.
And then it falls off the edge.
It's falling and falling
past
and
the
falling
crystal.
and falling and falling. No more. Bye bye. Puppy.
That's all there is.
Very big puppy.
Very mean puppy.
Very mean puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I always say, pets are a reflection of their owners, and considering Hela, that explains a lot, because she is one bad mamma jamma. Oh my goodness. And Kate Blanchett.
Yep.
I know she is just having the time of her life.
The aunt of that wolf.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Don't think about it too much. You'll make your head hurt, honey. You should try watching Once Upon a Time and figuring that family tree.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. But I love. I don't know if anyone else has seen it. I've seen it on Facebook a couple of times. It's a collection of 6 images, and it says at the top when good elves go bad.
Oh yeah. Oh right, because
it's got
Kate Blanchett and Hugo Weaving.
Yes, and then the what's his face that plays Legolas's father played.
Lee Pace, yeah.
Played what's his face in the first Guardians movie, Ronan. Yep.
And then bonus, Carl Urban was Éomer. He's not an elf, but he was in Lord of the Rings.
No, but there's another image that floats around, and it's Éomer and Galadriel in Lord of the Rings, and at the bottom it's Scourge and Hela, and it's in the top image from Lord of the Rings is freshman year, and then the bottom is senior year.
Senior year. Yep, I believe it. Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty funny. I think because I watched the red carpet for Thor Ragnarok, and I think this is the first time that Carl Urban and Kate Blanchett have worked together since doing Lord of the Rings, and have seen each other. Obviously, this is not Carl Urban's first foray into the Marvel universe, because he does play Judge Dredd. That's not part of the MCU.
Oh right, yeah. I had to think about that. It's like, who else was he?
He did play a version of Judge Dredd, which is a Marvel character. So
I keep forgetting about that.
Yep.
Actually.
So I did see something interesting. Speaking of that scene where Loki goes into Valkyrie's memories, because when we first see Hela, she shows up almost immediately after Odin passes away and disappears into the sky in a flying thing of Asgardian god sparkles or something. I'm not sure. But when she shows up and Thor and Loki are there, and she's like, oh, so the old man's gone. And Thor's like, I'm Thor, son of Odin. And she's like, well, you don't look like him. And Loki's like, maybe we can come to arrangement. And she's like, you sound like him. And if you looked at the 3 of them and you didn't know anything about him and said one of these people is adopted, you'd think it was Thor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I saw on Tumblr, of all places, that, Tumblr, it can be a very weird and dangerous place to go. But every now and then you do get someone posts something that's useful. So I saw a fan theory, and I think they may be right. So we've seen that Loki has the ability to go in people's memories, right? So Loki, when Odin discovers him as a baby, we even see that in the flashback in the first Thor movie when Odin finds baby Loki and he's all blue because he's a frost giant, or at least part frost giant.
Yeah.
And Odin's got him, holding him in his arms, and Loki goes from being blue to looking more human. So fan theory is that even as a child, or as a baby, Loki had that ability. So when Odin came and found Loki, he was able to see Odin's memories and saw glimpses of Hela, not knowing exactly the story there, but just saw her in Odin's memories and got the impression that this is someone important to Odin, and therefore took on the same, I guess, coloring or look as Hela, hoping that that would make him more, I guess, desirable to Odin as a child.
Possible.
So, because they both have that dark hair, emo, look going on, and Thor is, blonde and buff and, Thor.
Yep.
So it's like, how you two... It's like, Loki's adopted, yet he looks more like Hela, who is blood related to Thor than Thor does. So it's a really good fan theory, and I think they may be on to something.
I'll take
and Hela
that.
look so much alike. So maybe we'll find out down the line that is the case. But they're never going to spell everything out for us, because then we'd have no reason to come back or watch the same movie more than once, because I saw the movie twice in 1 week. So
yeah.
But of course, this being a Marvel movie, they saved the day, kind of. So, which we knew was more than likely to happen. We didn't know what cost, but we figured that Thor would save the day, and he does, kind of, with some help from a common enemy, I guess would be the best way to put it, Surtur.
Well, we made the prophecy happen that was talked about in the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Ragnarok. And Ragnarok ended up, you think, end of the world, it's got to be terrible. Well, it actually turned out to be something good in a sense, because everything was going to be destroyed anyway, and Hela takes her power from Asgard itself, the actual planet. So, what do you do to destroy something like that? Well, you destroy the planet. And, yes, get the people off first, and thank you, Heimdall, for getting everybody in one place.
Yeah.
Get them out of there. Also, Idris Elba is always a win.
Yes.
Yes.
I was kind of afraid for Heimdall there.
I was too. I was like, please don't kill him off. You've killed off everybody else.
Yeah.
Just don't. No.
Like you've killed off Odin. You've killed off the Warriors 3. They end up killing. I don't know if we see it. I don't remember if we see that right, but they end up killing Scourge. So
yeah, he goes.
Yeah. So we do lose a good number of people, and I'm sure there's a good handful of unnamed Asgard. Obviously, the entire Asgardian army gets laid to waste by Hela.
Yeah, all those red shirts.
Yes. But and then some civilians as well, unfortunately. But for the most part, Asgard does the people do get away, which is good. So
because and now Thor is king of Asgard.
Yeah, whether he wanted to be or not, he is now king. So, and they're headed to Earth. Hopefully, that's the plan at least. But
and they're like, well, what could go wrong? That.
Mm-hmm.
Which
need you ask?
Yeah. Which that's not gonna go over real well for a number of reasons. First of all, it's Thanos, which is never a good thing. But considering the reason Thanos is there and has come across him in the first place, we have Loki to thank more than likely because he can't keep his mitts off of things that are not his.
It's like, ooh, shiny, I want.
Yeah. Although, when you think about it, it possibly could have been a good thing that he picked it. I mean, we never see him pick up the Tesseract, but I've got money. Not literally, but I've got not real money on that he picked it up when he saw it.
Oh yeah.
Because
who knows? Maybe that's how he got it in the first place.
Well, I mean, Thanos
timey-wimey.
Yeah. Well, no, Thanos was the one that gave it to him in the first place, and then
true.
He never gave it back. Is the thing. But at the same time, you know, if Loki hadn't picked it up, it would still be there in the vaults, and who knows where it would have ended up after Hela and Surtur end up, you know, destroying Asgard. It could have gone floating into the cosmos where anyone could have picked it up. I mean, technically in this case, Loki was keeping it safe, but he still should not touch things that are not his. Especially when they're Infinity Stones. Because that causes a little bit of problems. Because at this point, Thor still has no idea who is looking for the Infinity Stones. He knows someone is. Because we see that in Age of Ultron. You know, when he takes off at the end of the movie, he's like, you know, someone is playing a game here, and I need to figure out who it is. And he even says at the beginning of this movie, he's like, I still have no idea. I haven't found the Infinity Stones. I have no idea who's playing games here. So he's pretty clueless. And even in the Avengers, he when he confronts Loki and asks him, you know, who gave you this power, and Loki doesn't tell him. So, you know, Loki's little secret from the Avengers is going to come out.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, just you wait.
Yeah.
Although maybe he's like, oh, maybe, hey, I'm going to come help you now.
Yeah.
I know which team is safer.
Well, at least now, you know, Thor is finally wisened up to Loki's tricks. It's like, because he falls for it in the Avengers when it looks like Loki's, you know, escaping from his prison on the helicarrier. He's like, are you ever not going to fall for that? Well, it took several more movies, but eventually, no, Thor did not fall for that.
Yeah. Just a few well-timed rocks.
Yes.
Or whatever else that one thing was that.
A few rocks and a
cylinder-looking thing.
Yeah, the compliance discs. Prisoners who have jobs, because they're not slaves; they're prisoners who have jobs.
Prisoners with jobs. I don't like that word.
That Grandmaster.
The right-hand woman had some terrific one-liners.
Yes. She kind of reminds me of what's her name? Was she like the principal or the headmistress or Matilda?
Oh, Trunchbull?
Trunchbull. That's who she reminds me of, is Trunchbull.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe from her too. It's like, let's just hope there's not any chocolate cake anywhere.
Yeah.
Things could go bad.
Very.
Oh. It's just it's just a fun movie. So yeah. Some good jokes, some good references. The Willy Wonka.
Oh, did you guys catch that?
Yes.
I was there going like, I know this song, and I was freaking out, and Jared was looking at me like, are you nuts? I'm like, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
like, I know what this is, and it's that joke I appreciated quite a bit.
Yeah. And then a few one-off characters, a few more one-off characters, I guess, because Valkyrie's coming back, and the Grandmaster is supposed to come back at some point down the line, supposedly too. But Korg.
Yeah, I liked him.
That was the movie's director.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
Really?
Nope.
Okay, then.
That was Taika Waititi.
Cool.
That's more than a cameo. Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's good to be the director.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to do all the all the parts you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently Taika also, he didn't do the performance, or not the voice, but he did the motion capture for Surtur as well.
Oh, wow.
So he's a busy dude. He's like, I'm not just gonna direct this movie. I'm gonna play a part and do motion capture for another, and
do the whole shooting match.
Yep.
I did not know all this. This is cool.
Yep. So, and of course, there's about a bazillion, I'm exaggerating just a little bit, a bazillion Easter eggs, references to other things in the Marvel comic books and other things that, if you've got more comic book knowledge than I do, you probably caught them better than I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same here.
Yeah. The nice retcon for the Infinity Gauntlet being in Odin's vault in the very first Thor movie. Fake.
Mm-hmm.
Fake. I had totally forgotten about that.
It's a fake.
And then she did that, and I was like, oh yeah, that needed to be fixed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fake.
Makes sense.
So, yeah. I mean, if there's, if you feel like there's something you missed, or, you just want a better idea of maybe the things you missed, pick a YouTube channel that covers these sorts of things, and they probably cover it. I know I've watched several videos where they're like, Easter eggs you might have missed in Thor Ragnarok, and a lot of them are stuff coming out of the comic books, which, like I said, I say every time, I don't read comics, so they're going to get lost on me, so I don't mind, being schooled, I guess. After the fact, I will fully cop to my comic book ignorance. Yeah. You can just tell me what I missed, and I'll be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
If it saves me from having to go digging through multiple back issues.
Yeah. Saves me a lot of reading.
I mean, someone out there has condensed this into a list.
Yeah.
Of some kind.
Like, I don't have time to read a bunch of comic books. I'm still working on that. Thank you very much. I got less than 3 weeks till I leave for Florida. I'm not done yet. So,
better get on that.
Yeah.
But anyway, anything else, or
it's
really
really
what
good.
else?
I fully agree with Keith in the last episode of Traveling the Vortex, where they're talking about they touch on Thor Ragnarok a little, and Keith is like talking about the music, and not just the use of immigrant song, but the soundtrack in general, the incidental music. I actually found the soundtrack on YouTube and was listening to it, and it's cinematic and very hero-esque, like what we expect from these movies, but it also is very like 80s. There's a lot of synth. Which
kind of a Flash Gordon-y type.
Flash Gordon, a bit Stranger Things-esque.
Yep. So it wasn't just me.
No. It works. Ooh. Though that's the thing. It wouldn't work necessarily for the other Marvel movies, but for this one it works just because of the setting in Sakaar and the Grandmaster. He's just this very flamboyant. He's really into playing music and having parties and parades and this fun time on this planet. He's the Grandmaster. I think he's also the Party Master. But yeah, so the music is just really, really good. I mean, a lot of the Marvel movies, the music, it's like it's there, but you don't really pay attention to it.
It doesn't stand out other than it serves the story, so it's kind of a compliment, but yeah.
Mostly we just take notice when they use, popular music, which obviously Guardians of the Galaxy, it's its own thing where it uses a crap ton of popular music. The other Marvel movies, not so much. Obviously, Tony Stark really loves AC/DC. So we've got that going for us, but then in this we've got the use of Immigrant Song, which still is so perfect.
Yeah.
On so many levels. So, it's only used twice in the movie, but both times it's perfect. The use of it is just absolutely perfect. It's just pretty awesome. But yeah, the music outside of Immigrant Song is it's really good. From the very beginning, when we finally get the title card and we kind of get the hero theme. That theme that we'll hear throughout the movie anytime Thor does something awesome. It's just, I really like it.
Yeah, I noticed the music as well, not in a, usually when you say, oh, I noticed it was too loud or too whatever, but I actually, I'm same way. I really liked it, and it gave it a different feel, and which this Thor movie is different than the other two Thor movies we've gotten, and so and it fit really well, and I really liked it, and I think it was, I think Sean from Traveling the Vortex said that he wanted to buy this soundtrack, which outside of Guardians he really hasn't, and I think I bought the soundtrack for Age of Ultron and for Doctor Strange, which Doctor Strange used a lot of really unique music in the score as well. And I'm like, I kind of tend to agree with Sean. I'm like, I think I want to get this soundtrack when I finally can and listen to it, because it's just it sounded really just different and from anything else Marvel has done so far.
It's cool.
So,
as as cliche, I guess, as
for sure.
That sounds, but and we do get a little bit of that Doctor Strange music, during the bits that he's in it, that kind of stringy, it almost
the sitar kind of thing.
Sitar, it's kind of sitar, but it also reminds me of the music from the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock movies.
Oh yeah, yes, so, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's which that in itself, kind of a nod to Robert Downey Jr. and the fact that Benedict Cumberbatch also plays Sherlock. So.
Yeah, now you mentioned, I remember hearing a few bars of, I was like, this sounds like the Sherlock theme.
Yeah.
You notes of that.
So. I fully expect a really on the nose Sherlock reference in Infinity War. Preferably,
hopefully they can work it in.
Preferably in a scene where Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict Cumberbatch are together.
Yes.
This needs to happen. So I guess that's my last thing, and that maybe we want to touch upon is the mid-credit and post-credit scenes. The post-credit scene, kind of a throwaway. It's just the Grandmaster after the revolution. He's like, hey, congratulations, revolution! You had to have someone to revolt against. You're welcome. Still trying to play the crowd. Yeah, still trying to play the crowd. And then the mid-credit scene is Thanos coming to collect, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
Showing up, but no Infinity War trailer yet.
Nope.
Yeah.
I was hoping. I kind of threw a small fit when the movie, like, the credits, and it got to the end, and it said, Thor will return in Avengers Infinity War, and the lights come up. I'm like, yes, he will. Now, where's the trailer? Give me the dang trailer.
I don't know, like, the trailers before the movies, or before the movie. I don't know what trailers you guys got, but we got a bunch, and it ended with Justice League and then Black Panther, and both of those trailers, I don't know if it was just our theaters or what, but they were the teaser trailers, not the full on, the final trailers that we've gotten since, and I was just kind of like, that's kind of cheap.
That is weird.
So my Black Panther one was a little long because they kind of showed some of the tech from Wakanda and the lighted vehicles racing through.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had that
we
one.
didn't. Yeah, we didn't have that one.
I had Star Wars. I want to think I had Justice League, and then I had one other, and then we went right into the movie.
I got Star Wars, Black Panther, and I didn't get Justice League. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think
we got Star Wars in there too, but that might have been the longer one. But yeah, it was just weird because I was like, well, Justice League comes out soon, and Black Panther's the next Marvel movie, so why not have the full? I don't know. It was probably just our theater doing something weird or whatever. I don't know.
Probably for
but
timing,
I just noticed. It was something I noticed.
Yeah, but I was really hoping that it would be like the end of Captain America, where they essentially gave us the Avengers trailer as a tag at the end of Captain America, and I was really hoping maybe they would do that for this with Infinity War, but no. And I like I said, I threw a small fix to us, the ones that were drooling over Hemsworth without a shirt. The one lady was like, it's too soon for a trailer. I'm like, no, it's not. We got less than 6 months here. Give me my dang trailer.
Maybe they're waiting to. Maybe they want to give Black Panther its due and then go full tilt.
I don't think they'll wait that long. I don't think they'll wait that long. I still, at this point, I think we'll get at least a teaser of some sort for Infinity War before the end of the year. Hopefully, probably by The Last Jedi. That's what I'm hoping. I think it won't be this week. I think they're gonna let DC have it, their weekend for Justice League this coming weekend. I think Marvel's maybe gonna play nice, and
they'll break the internet.
I've had discussions both ways with people. They're like, well, maybe they're letting DC, have their moment with Justice League, and then I've had some people like, well, maybe they'll drop it on like Thursday or Friday as a big old like screw you to DC. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a movie coming out this weekend? I had no idea. Yeah. I don't think that'll be the case as much as we like to poke fun at the DC Marvel rivalry. I think Disney and Feige know that would probably be in bad form to do that. But yeah, maybe next week. Maybe next week. But I think definitely It'll be a trailer we're seeing when people start to go see Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Alex is very excited.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He wants the trailer.
Give me my trailer.
He wants his mom to stop talking to.
Yeah.
Get off the computer and pay attention to me.
Yeah, it's like the
which I have been doing this whole time.
Yeah.
You just didn't hear about it until he started fussing.
Yeah, and like right after Thor comes out, like the Russo brothers are posting on Instagram about that trailer, and it's this video of Orson Welles talking about how things need time to mature and get to their best potential before consuming. And I'm like, no, give me the trailer!
Yeah. We don't want some old Orson Welles wine commercial. We want the trailer.
Yeah. Like, I don't care what Orson Welles have to say about wine. Give me my trailer. Yeah.
And then we have Captain America at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah,
Patience.
Yeah, well.
How many more of these do I have to do?
Yeah. Sorry, Cap, but I don't want to hear it.
We'll get there. We'll probably by the end of the year we'll have it.
Oh yes.
Yes.
And believe me, once it drops, you will be hearing about it from us.
Pretty sure we'll be hearing from you, but before we film podcast.
Yeah.
You hear all the way.
If you hear screaming coming from the general Indianapolis area, it's probably
what's happened.
Yes, it's probably because we finally got
we'll be
Infinity War.
We'll be sitting at home and we'll hear the screaming like, "Oh, the Infinity War trailer dropped. Better go check it out."
Mm-hmm.
Rachel's dead.
Oh.
Rachel's down.
Like, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Just. Oh my goodness! So they know what they're doing as much as we.
They're building up anticipation, making you wait for it, making you earn your happy ending, as it were.
Apparently.
Yeah. Yes, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Alex is saying yes.
Yeah.
He looks excited now. And if any of our listeners are excited or antsy or anything else for a trailer or lack thereof, or if you just want to chime in. If you just want to chime in about your thoughts about Thor Ragnarok or any of the Marvel topics we've covered, send us feedback, which you can do through our email, which is 5ishfangirls@gmail.com. You can leave us comments on our Facebook page or on Instagram or Twitter, wherever you choose to do your social media things. Yes, honey.
It's like, I don't have a Twitter, Mom.
Like, I don't like Twitter. But yeah, you can find all of our social media stuff at our website, which is the5ishfangirls.com. And there you can also find us on Patreon, and which helps that support helps us continue to produce our podcast. You can also support us through our Amazon store, which a big thank you to everyone who does that, because that is so helpful. You have no idea, or maybe you do, depending on what you use those things for. And you can also find us on all the podcast places: iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play, and also on YouTube. So take a look at all those places and check us out. Hopefully we'll see you on the intertubes, out and about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what else to say about Thor. I liked it. I don't think it's my all-time favorite, but it was enjoyable. I just wanted more.
Yeah. Well, we always want more.
Well,
yeah, we always
want more. So that's not saying a whole lot.
Yeah. Maybe they could do an Odin Hela novel.
Yeah.
There we go.
Tie that in or something.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
And
now I've got a chattery little baby that.
He's like, I didn't get to see the movie.
It's like, I'll read the book.
Yeah.
You've been reading books, not novels, but little picture books.
Yeah. Reading is fun.
Imagine putting that book on for his reading challenge.
I asked and they said, yeah, if you listen to audiobooks and stuff with them, that counts. I'm like, sweet.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, for our listeners who don't know, our library, which I now work for again, has this program where you try to read 1,000 books with your child before they go to kindergarten, and it starts from birth, and so we've been doing that. It's mostly picture books, but I also listen to audiobooks when I'm sitting with him sometimes. So that's your literacy plug. If you have kids, if you have younglings, read to them. That helps them get a foot up in school.
Yep.
When they get to that point. Anyway,
he likes it.
PSAs. He does love it.
I think he likes it.
Yeah. You like it, huh, sweetheart?
It's like, now take me to the movies. I have not seen this Thor Ragnarok you're talking about.
I don't know if you'd sit through a movie.
Probably not.
Wait till it comes on DVD and we can buy it.
You're just going to have to wait for the Blu-ray, Alex. Sorry.
Or the Blu-ray. Whatever we end up with.
Yep. All right. I think we've waxed poetic about Thor Ragnarok enough. So.
Indeed.
With that, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy and Alex saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. I love my husband, I really do, but Loki and leather? Oh my! You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.